interesting. Come SEC time, you lace it up a little different, a lot more exciting. Scouting's even different. Time, it will either promote you or expose you. We'll know where these two teams stand today after this basketball game.
Leads us to our 101. Mississippi State 13-2. They know what they have. Arkansas 11-3. They're about to find out what they have.
Well, for Mississippi State, it's D-Boss +3. Front line incredible. D-Boss will have to handle the pressure, also do well offensively along with that front line. And then for Arkansas, these freshmen and sophomores have been playing outstanding, but they will be tested today. We'll see what they've learned in the non-conference schedule.
State led by head coach Rick Stansberry in his 14th season. The Bulldogs all-time winningest coach. His Regions Bank starting lineup: Jalen Steele, D-Boss, Rodney Hood, Arnett Moultrie, who's number 4 in the conference in scoring, number 1 in rebounding, and Wendell Lewis. Mike Anderson in his first season as the Razorbacks head coach, off to a great start here after great runs at UAB and Missouri. Bulldogs will start on offense in their road maroon. That's D-Boss on the dribble. And a foul is going to be called on Nobles. Julysses Nobles picks up the first foul of the game.
Arkansas basketball, so much history, obviously the national championship. Guys like Scotty Thurman, Corliss Williamson, you can tell this atmosphere. They want that back here.
Moultrie drops it off for Lewis, and Wendell Lewis with the first basket of the ball game.
This is where this game will be determined. Can Arkansas score inside?
Abram misses the shot. Strong defense, and Wendell Lewis apparently took an elbow to the head. He's slow getting down the floor. Steal the miss on the three-point attempt. Scott inside to Abram. His second chance is good. The trademark full-court pressure by the Arkansas Razorbacks. Bost on the drive, kick into the corner. Rodney Hood, the freshman, the miss. Wendell Lewis, offensive rebound, tip in by Moultrie.
Practice yesterday, Coach Mike Anderson said rebound and defending. You've got to keep Mississippi State off the glass. No bodies on that previous trip. They rebound well.
Arkansas on a 6-game winning streak. Won their last game 83-66 against Savannah State on Tuesday. Sanchez. Michael Sanchez, the senior forward who's battled injuries the last 2 seasons. Healthy and starting all 15 of their games so far this season. Boss has been in a terrible shooting slump. Has hit only 12 of his last 53 shots. Mardrakus Wade, though, has hit 50% of his three-pointers this season. Missed his first attempt. Inside they go to Abram. He's 1 for 3 to start the game.
D-Boss right now so crucial in controlling the tempo of this basketball game.
Moultrie called for traveling. I think it's safe to say, despite that mistake right there by Arnett Moultrie, he's got to be considered the surprise player in the Southeastern Conference this season, averaging a double-double. Inside to Abram again, battling against Lewis. Abrams missed 3 of his first 4 shots, but they keep going to him.
Well, Coach Mike Anderson realizes the importance of establishing an inside presence. You saw Florida struggle with that earlier today against Tennessee.
Boss lost the dribble, slipped out of his hands. Apparently he touched it last. Mike Anderson back in Arkansas after serving as Nolan Richardson's right-hand man in those glory years. Went off to UAB, got them to the Sweet 16. From there to Missouri, got them to the Elite Eight, and now hoping to bring Arkansas back to their once lofty standing in the Southeastern Conference.
He left Coach Frank Haight, a pretty good team over at Missouri, even though they got upset today.
Nobles. Moultrie dribbling in the open court, but missed his first shot from outside the paint.
No flow to this basketball game yet, which is what Arkansas likes. And they want to press this tempo, get it going up and down. They'll let Moultrie dribble up and take that previous shot that he took all day long.
Abram. 1 for 5 to start the game.
And this is what we're talking about here as far as tempo control. D-Boss taking his time, walking it up the court. If you're Mississippi State, you want to try to wear this crowd down.
Moultrie. Foul's going to be called on Sanchez. They will count the basket. Moultrie has 4 of Mississippi State's first 6 points. Arkansas tied at 6. SEC basketball presented by Regions Bank and Damian Fishback. Mississippi State has a size advantage inside that has now kept Arkansas from attacking that inside with Devontae Abram.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier, the importance of establishing an inside presence. We've seen a lot of guard-oriented teams lose today. Florida upset at Tennessee. We saw Missouri upstate at Kansas State. You cannot live and die by your guards alone, and so Mike Anderson, realizing that for Arkansas, figures one way or another we're going to establish some type of inside presence.
Moultrie completes the three-point play. He has scored 5 of the Bulldogs' first 7 points. Renardo Sidney checks into the ballgame for Mississippi State during that timeout. Sanchez hits his second basket of the ballgame. And there's the trap. Mississippi State in trouble. They cough it up. Wade attacks the basket. DeVille Smith, the freshman, had trouble with it the first time. And a foul's going to be called on Wade.
Matt, this is an interesting game for DeVille Smith. He's been playing well of late, but there's no test for a freshman like coming in here to Bud Walton Arena when the crowd gets yelling here. Very difficult task. Mississippi State will have to help him in pressure.
And we'd like to welcome those on CSS who've been watching the George Mason Georgia State game. George Mason ending the Panthers' 11-game winning streak tonight, 61-58. You're watching SEC basketball on CSS, presented by Regions Bank. Arkansas, the early 10-7 lead on Mississippi State here at the Bud Walton Arena. Matt Stewart and Damian Fishback with you. So interesting that in that first timeout, they put in Renardo Sidney, who had started 12 games this season but did not start tonight, and they take out D. Bost, who averages 34 minutes a game, and he's already out of the ball game right now.
And right now, Anthony Jordan taking a look at the last play. I believe there was a foul call, probably trying to see whether it's a flagrant foul. And Renardo Sidney, let's take a look at it.
The foul occurred way down on the other end of the court as Arkansas was bringing the ball down the floor, so it's hard to even see. Let's see. Well, there you go. Sidney and Abram were tangled up there at the left side of the lane. So let's see what Anthony Jordan has here.
Interesting enough, it looks like it was just a foul on Sidney. So Arkansas will get the ball underneath. No elbow, nothing to the head. Anthony Jordan and Ron Groover, Mike Nance, good officiating crew, taking a look.
Waith. Marvell Waith, the senior, really taking advantage of a playing opportunity with Marshawn Powell done for the season. And another turnover by Mississippi State. And a foul is going to be called on Mississippi State as Nobles drives to the basket. And a 5-point lead for Arkansas and a standing ovation here for the Razorbacks.
When you look at this Arkansas group here, very young, again, struggled playing against Oklahoma and UConn, but a talented team. This group of freshmen, a highly talented team, and right now, Mississippi State dealing with going from the hunter to the hunted right now.
DeBost checks back in the ball game as Nobles hits both free throws, and Arkansas has doubled up Mississippi State here in the first 6 minutes of the game. Nobles goes to the bench, and their shot blocker, freshman shot blocker, Hunter Mickelson, checks into the ball game. So far, Mississippi State has had a lot of trouble with the press, but now with DeBost, the senior, in there, they drop out of it.
There were 5 turnovers early for Mississippi State, but 2 or 3 of those by the freshman Smith. Very tough for a freshman to come in this type of environment.
Bost off the mark again. He's missed his first 2 shots. Continuing his trend in which over the last 4 games he has shot 23% from the floor. Scott dumps it off for Mickelson. Missed the layup. Had an open look. Boss draws contact. Veteran move by Boss, jumping into Mickelson as he was running at him. Take a look at your Regions Bank starting lineups and those on the floor right now. Boss, Hood, Bryant, Lewis, and Sidney. And for Arkansas, Wade, Scott, Young, Mickelson, and Waith.
When you're facing the pressure of an Arkansas, they're going to press you for 40 minutes. What's critical is that you have 3 near receivers at all times. What Arkansas wants to do is they want to try to get your big guys handling the basketball. Anybody but D-Boss in the point guard of your team. And so as a result, all guys have to become ball handlers, and that's what Mississippi State has struggled to do early.
Rick Stansbury felt pretty comfortable. He said his team has not had a problem with the press this year, and even his big guys like Arnett Moultrie, who we saw earlier, can handle the ball. But with the freshman DeVille Smith in there, they did struggle. There's a steal by Bost. And Bost is fouled on his drive to the basket.
Well, we talked about how critical Boss's play would be. Here, just a lackadaisical pass. Boss doing a good job of getting out in the passing lane. But again, his role is so important here today, Matt. Controlling the tempo, taking care of the basketball, and also getting his team to play to their strengths. Their strengths are inside, getting the basketball to guys like Sidney and Moultrie. That guy on the sideline right there, Coach Rick Stansbury, and D-Boss have to be won in a game like this against an Arkansas team playing well.
D-Bost has been the top ball stealer in the Southeastern Conference the last 4 years, and with the steal right there, now moves into a 4th place tie with Barry Stewart on the all-time Mississippi State list. 162 in his career.
Nice denial that time by Steele on Young.
The drive high off the basket. Foul's going to be called on Mississippi State. And this one's going to go against Brian Bryant. Blocking foul on him. Arkansas has used a lot of freshmen. 4 fine freshmen in Mike Anderson's recruiting class. As Ricky Scott, the sophomore, steps up to the line. Their rotation really consists of 4 freshmen, 2 sophomores. But out of their freshmen, they are getting 43% of their scoring, 41% of their rebounds, and 53% of their block shots. They've got 3 freshmen on the floor right now. And there's the sophomore Scott.
Yeah, Scott's been struggling shooting from behind the three-point line, but is now doing what he did on that last play, trying to get to the rim and use his mid-range game a lot more.
Nobles checks back into the ball game, and Scott comes out. Steele over in the corner, gets to Sidney. Now Sidney's been hitting the 3. He's hit 3 of his last 5 3-pointers, make that 4 out of 6. And as we watched him at the shoot-around today, he was nailing them.
Again, on that pressure, though, they turned Moultrie into a ball handler, getting it out of D-Boss's hands.
There's the high-flying B.J. Young. He's had his best games on the road against the best competition. Nobles is hit hard by Sidney, and then Sidney picks him up by the pants and the jersey like he's a rag doll. Opening 8 minutes, Arkansas on top by 5. Turnovers led to 8 Arkansas points.
If you watch these highlights, 2 of them are by the freshman DeVille Smith, but the other one is by Moultrie. Key here, none of these turnovers are being made by D-Boss, which is why we talked about this at the onset. He's so critical. As a point guard, when you go on the road against teams that pressure you for 40 minutes, you almost have to be selfish. D-Boss has to have the basketball in his hand. He has to show his veteran leadership and control this basketball game. If not, Arkansas runs away with it.
Nobles at the line for the Razorbacks. And Nobles has scored 6 of their first 17 points. If those opening few minutes were any indication, D-Boss is going to have to log a lot of minutes tonight. Sidney on the drive, left it short. Moultrie is there with the follow. DeVille Smith committed 2 turnovers in 1 minute of action. Just don't know that he's ready for this kind of pressure. Shot by Nobles off the mark. Tipped out of bounds by Young.
Well, right now, this tempo of this basketball game has been all Razorback-like. You haven't really seen Mississippi State just settle down for 20-25 seconds on the shot clock and run a set. You have to remember their strength inside. Moultrie, a double-double guy. Sidney, 12 points a game. Their strength is on the interior.
Mike Anderson told us that they want to get the tempo to their liking, turn it into a chaotic game, and be in attack mode. Steele had a shot blocked by Mickelson. Mickelson has blocked a shot in every game that he has played. Madden with the basket. Rashad Madden, one of those 4 freshmen I was talking about. And it is a 7-point lead and a timeout called by Rick Stansberry. Arkansas with a 7-point lead on Mississippi State, and Mickelson is one of 3 freshmen in the nation who has had a block in every game that he's played.
Yeah, we've seen another freshman earlier today in Anthony Davis, but right now, again, we've talked about this. The entire tempo going to the liking of Arkansas, and this crowd has been the 6th man thus far in the first half. If you're Mississippi State right now, again, you have to change the momentum of this basketball game by slowing it down. How do you slow it down? Number 1, you don't turn over the basketball. Number 2, you want to stop transition opportunities and 3-point shot. And then number 3, you have to attack. We've seen a little bit of that from Mississippi State, but they're turning the basketball over. They're not even getting looks a lot of times in the half-court setting.
Rodney Hood bringing the ball up the floor for the Bulldogs. Stepped on the sideline. Another turnover. That's 7 now for a Mississippi State team that averages just 12 a game. there's a turnover by Arkansas. Sidney launching another three and hitting it. Oh, wow.
And if you're wondering what Sidney was pointing to, there was a fan that was talking to him before the game. They were kind of talking a little trash between one another. Big shot by Sidney.
B.J. Young. Sidney grabs a rebound. 2 3-pointers by Renardo Sidney in this game already. Moultrie gets tied up. Possession arrow pointing in favor of Arkansas.
A lot of people talk about the potential of this young man, Renardo Sidney. Bounced back so well. Nice stroke, incredible touch. If he has fun, keeps your composure, plays hard and plays smart, he's as good as any big man in the country when he does that.
What are you going to do defensively when the big guy steps out and starts knocking down threes like that?
Well, if you're Arkansas, that's what you want. You don't want a big guy like Sidney establishing his presence inside.
Nicholson the miss.
Remember, Sidney has 2 fouls right now, so if you're Arkansas, you want to continue to try to pound it inside.
Sidney on the feed to the baseline, nothing there. And it's stolen away by Waite. B.J. Young with the layup. Rodney Hood quiets the crowd. Rick Stansbury called this place one of the toughest places to play in the nation.
We've talked about the freshman of Arkansas. That shot by Rodney Hood, one of the better freshmen in the SEC as well. Good length, good touch. Plays well above his years in his first season thus far.
2-time Gatorade Player of the Year, playing for Meridian High School in Mississippi. Led him to the state finals twice. They won the championship as a senior. Waite, the senior for Arkansas, knocks down the basket. 5-point lead for the Hogs again.
You notice the turnovers, though, have settled down a little bit because the ball has been in D-Boss's hands.
Sidney launching his 3rd 3-pointer. He is 3 for 3 behind the arc.
You don't think this guy can play at the next level?
Nobody's ever questioned his talent. It's the ticker. Does he have the heart? Does he have the drive? Does he have the determination? Nobles hits a 3. He's got 9 points.
Right back at you, Nobles says. Not going anywhere.
Stolen away by the Razorbacks. Waite. Battle underneath. Madden kept it alive. Walton Arena at a fevered pitch right now. These Razorback fans are still feeling it from the Cotton Bowl victory last night over Kansas State, and they are excited about their basketball team here tonight. They kept it alive on the boards, and then Madden, the freshman, tipped it in. 7-point lead for the Hogs. SSS get live games presented by Regions Bank, plus a preview and post-game wrap-up each Wednesday, starting at 6:30 Eastern on CSS. Rodney Hood at the line for Mississippi State. Only a 44% free throw shooter this season.
Arkansas's bench thus far outscoring the bench of Mississippi State 10-6. They're 9-2 when their bench outscores the opponents. Incredible spark off the bench. They're averaging actually 33, nearly 33 points a game. So really doing well against the lack of depth for State.
Nobles. Hood grabs the rebound for Mississippi State. Razorbacks shooting 50% from the floor here in the first half. Hood off the mark on his three-point attempt. Nobles the rebound and the push-up for the Razorbacks.
Arkansas, the more up-tempo team, actually doing a better job of being patient on the offensive end right now.
Sanchez with 10 on the shot clock. Spin move, lost the ball. Got hit across the nose, and Mississippi State comes away with it.
See, this is where D-Boss has to be smart. Run some time off the clock.
Bryant in trouble. Gets rid of it. Moultrie cutting to the basket. Had a shot blocked by Sanchez, and then off of Moultrie.
Outstanding job by Arkansas thus far. Absolutely have the Bulldogs shell-shocked. Almost like a deer in headlights. You don't expect that from a veteran basketball team, but thus far in the basketball game, that's the result.
Arkansas with a +8 turnover advantage so far in this ball game. Nobles knocks down a three, and Nobles has 12. Working against Sanchez, finally gives it up. Boston scored only 3 points in this game, all of them at the free throw line. Traveling call, turning the ball over is the call on Brian Bryant.
At this point of the basketball game, Mississippi State has forgotten about the guy who's really helped getting him there. Arnett Moultrie, a double-double guy, 16 and 12, biggest surprise in the SEC. He's not getting touches on the interior. Mississippi State completely out of their game offensively.
Moultrie's getting his points on second chance opportunities. He's got 7 points and 6 rebounds. Ricky Scott given a chance to take a three. Long rebound for Mississippi State. Rodney Hood.
Well, he has an amazing amount of composure for a freshman.
Sanchez back the other way, gets the basket, and he'll go to the line for a chance at the three-point play.
Sanchez doing an outstanding job of knowing his role. He scored this basket right here when he's running the floor. Outran every Mississippi State player down the floor. That's how you win basketball games. Not more talented, not more athletic, just wants it more. And the reason why he and his Arkansas Razorbacks are ahead now.
Sanchez already above his per-game average. He's got 6 points here tonight. Make it 7 and a 9-point lead for Arkansas. Strong drive to the basket by DeVille Smith. Will break his way. DeVille Smith draws the foul on Abram. Abram got him with the body. 3:43 to play in the half, and Arkansas has a 9-point lead. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. And by Regions Bank. Want more control and balance with your finances? Switch to Regions, the easier way to bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Matt Stewart and Damian Fishback with you at the Bud Walton Arena, where the Arkansas Razorbacks are outscoring Mississippi State 14-4 points off turnovers and beating them 16-8 points in the paint and lead by 9.
Spoke with Scotty Thurman, former Arkansas grade, at the practice yesterday. He said Nolan Richardson and Mike Anderson are very similar in the fact that when they prepare for teams, they don't really care what that other team does. That team is going to have to adjust to their style. We're seeing that already here tonight. Rick Stansbury now going with the 4-guard small lineup now to try to handle some of the pressure of Arkansas.
DeVille Smith hit both the free throws for the Bulldogs, and the lead is cut back to 7. Nobles, red hot. Julysses Nobles, 15 points in this ball game, just 2 off of his season high 17. Scored in a loss against Houston, and his career high 19 against Seton Hall in 2010. Boss still having trouble shooting.
I think Boss is concentrating too much on scoring right now. Needs to be more of a distributor.
And that's exactly the comments that Rick Stansbury told us. He's trying too hard to score, feels the pressure to score as a senior, and he finally does what he does best. He drives and gets the basket off the glass. Ricky Scott airballed it. Boss was there to grab it.
Smith out of Jackson, Mississippi for Mississippi State has responded well after struggling coming out the first few minutes, turning it over. Looks like the freshman settled down a little bit.
DeVille Smith and Julysses Nobles both out of Jackson, Callaway. Bank shot in for DeVille Smith.
Arkansas, if they choose, has a mismatch with Sanchez on Hood. He's got more size, more strength.
Foul's going to be called on Moultrie. SEC basketball on CSS, presented by Regions Bank, continues on Wednesday night as we have a rematch of the BCS National Championship game at the Coleman Coliseum. LSU at Alabama Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern on CSS. I'm guessing they're going to score more than the 15 that they scored when they met in Tuscaloosa back in November, but I'm guessing they're going to score more than that when they play in the Superdome, too, on Monday. But you never know. Nobles. Rare miss by Julysses Nobles in this ball game. Hood on the drive, got tied up by Sanchez, who got him across the arm. And that's going to be foul number 2 on Michael Sanchez.
Interesting. Coach Rick Stansbury, since he has moved to that 4-guard lineup, wasn't for sure how that chess move would work, but seems to be getting Arkansas settled down a little bit, getting them more ball handlers out on the floor. And basically, Rick Stansbury has decided, listen, they're going 4 guards with basically one big man or one form of inside presence. We'll match it. I'll take my guards against their guards, and we'll see what happens.
Rodney Hood is now their leading scorer tonight with 8 points. He averages 12 a game, grabs 5 rebounds a game. He cuts the Arkansas lead to 4. As we have 90 seconds now, less than that, to play here in the first half.
Important couple of possessions here for Arkansas, and had a lead most of the first half.
Mickelson. That is chased down in the corner by Madden as the Razorbacks keep the possession going. DJ Young slicing through the defense. Nearly stolen away as D. Boss nearly tumbles on top of us here on our courtside table. And Damian, you did not flinch. You're supposed to grab him. Protect the play-by-play guy.
And Arkansas not flinching. Number 15 team in the country coming in here playing outstanding thus far in the first half.
Hood, another basket.
Very good. It's just his composure. You know, you see a lot of freshmen get shook. He plays at one speed. He's always under control. He never allows people to speed him up.
Rick Stansbury said his mind is so good, doesn't let little things tilt him. Mickelson misses another bunny. Lots of contact. Let's see who picked up the foul. If it's Sidney, that's number 3.
Well, we commented and complimented Renardo Sidney early. This is what the big fella has to work on. No box out, no excuse for not getting that rebound on that trip. And then defensively has 2 fouls. You can't go out and get that 3rd foul. And now he'll have to take a seat for the duration of the first half. And he gets the foul with 20 seconds left to go in the first half.
B.J. Young. 3 fouls on Sidney. We'll see how much that cost the Bulldogs in the second half. B.J. Young, engaging young freshman, visiting with us during their practice yesterday. I told him I expected a lot from him today, and he said, I got a lot. Final 5 seconds to Bill Smith's got to get rid of it. Moultrie does not beat the buzzer. That will not count. And the Arkansas Razorbacks 11-0 here at Bud Walton Arena with 11 assists on 16 field goals in the first 20 minutes. Walk into the locker room with a 43-37 lead on number 16, Mississippi State. Mike Anderson's team with the lead. As we take a break, when we come back, we'll take a look at day 1 in the SEC. Winner over Georgia. That was in Athens. Kentucky beat South Carolina 79-64. Terrence Jones hit his first 8 buckets and finished with 20 points. His best game since having a dislocated finger. LSU smacks Ole Miss 81-55. Justin Hamilton 23 points and 16 rebounds. And Vanderbilt beats Auburn 65-35. That's the fewest points for Auburn since 1951 in a loss at Kentucky.
Yeah, struggling offensively, really trying to find their chemistry at Auburn, and that's their 2nd loss in a row by that type of margin. So Coach Tony Barbie and the staff at Auburn will have to figure something out. And that Alabama win today at Georgia, when they start shooting it well, you get guys like Lacey and Relaford. They knock shots down from outside, and there's no question they'll be playing in March.
Mississippi State starts on offense. They're down 6, 13-2 on the season. Arkansas winners of 6 in a row, 11-3. Jalen Steele the miss, and the rebound controlled by Abram. Sanchez on the drive, contact by Lewis, foul on Lewis. That'll be the first foul on Wendell Lewis.
Well, and you see Sanchez, but what we didn't see. Yeah, let's watch it from the miss here. Watch the transition defense. Mississippi State players trotting, jogging back. You cannot win basketball games like that. Arkansas doing a great job of really going and putting offensive pressure on Mississippi State as well.
Sanchez now with 9 points. His season high, 11. Having a big ball game and a real physical presence for Mike Anderson's team. They need that. He's one of the veterans on this ball club, one of the few veterans on this ball club, and he's got to set the tone from a physicality standpoint.
We talked about the front line of Mississippi State not using that front line. Moultrie not even a touch on this possession. Give credit to Arkansas. Good pressure. And another turnover, that time by DeBoss and Mississippi State.
12 turnovers now for the Bulldogs, which matches their per-game average. Number 3 in the conference in fewest turnovers per game, but Arkansas doing what they do best, and that's turn teams over. Their plus 4.4 turnover margin is the best in the SEC and the 7th best in the nation.
If you want to get back in this game, this is the end that you do it on. Defensive stops not only gets you transition points on the offensive end, but keeps Arkansas from jumping into that pressure in which they like to do on makes.
Wade on the drive. Mardrakus Wade. 10-point lead for Arkansas. Mississippi State has not trailed by this much and come back and won the entire season. The most they trailed and won against Utah State when they were down 9 in the first half. Moultrie to the corner. Jalen Steele.
And it's almost like the Bulldogs said, hey, we've got that guy Moultrie inside. You play the game inside out. You have to, especially on the road.
Abram got the basket and was fouled on the play as well.
We talked about this talented freshman class up and under here. Takes the foul, and Lewis just frustration. You see it, and even to this point in the basketball game, Mississippi State hasn't matched the energy. That's something that they'll have to learn through the season if they remain the hunted. Anytime you go on the road, you are the hunted. You have to match the energy of the crowd. Feed off of that energy.
Meantime, that was the 8th rebound for Moultrie as he's closing in on his SEC-leading 9th double-double. He's at 7 points and 8 rebounds. But as you pointed out, Damian, not enough touches for him. Pretty much every time he touches the ball, it's just getting an offensive or defensive rebound. Hood in a double team, and a foul's going to be called. Wow.
And Coach Mike Anderson with a smile on his face. This is the type of environment and atmosphere that he brings. He did it at Missouri, did it at UAB, did it when he was an assistant coach here with Nolan Richardson, and doing it here at Arkansas now.
Boss drawing contact from Nobles, and Boss will be going to the line.
Such a critical stretch here for both teams. If you're Arkansas, you want to continue to play ahead. Do not allow that door to be open for Mississippi State, who we saw played well against Baylor. And if you're Mississippi State here, these first 5 minutes of this second half, if you don't establish your ability to handle the pressure, establish an inside presence, then you dig yourself a hole very difficult to get out of in a tough environment here at Bud Walton.
Boss now with 6 points. He's the 9th best free throw shooter in the conference. That was his first or second miss at the line here tonight. Oh, yeah. Nobles still has the hot hand. Season high 18 now for him. And a foul in Arkansas.
A very good job of finding the hot hand. You talked about Nobles being hot in the first half. A lot of players don't recognize that. You got a guy who's been filling it up. See how many baskets he can knock down. Find him as much as you can.
Well, they're apparently living by that. He's 4 of 7 behind the three-point line. The rest of the team's 0 for 3. Bost, rebound by Abram. Nobles is calling for the ball. B.J. Young knocks down the 3. 14-point lead for the Razorbacks. Stansberry calls for a timeout. It's been upset Saturday here on day 1 of the SEC. Saturday around college basketball. Mike Anderson's former team, number 6 Missouri, handed their first loss of the season after starting the year 13-0. Number 9 Georgetown felled by West Virginia. 10th ranked Louisville loses in double overtime to Notre Dame. And the Tennessee Volunteers hold the 14th ranked Florida Gators 29 points below their per game average and beat the Gators. Gators now 0-4 in true road games.
Yeah, you notice 3 out of 4 of those games were on the road. The road usually brings either the best or worst out of you. And right now, team's struggling. Another turnover by Mississippi State, just breaking down here mentally on the road.
That's the 5th steal for the Razorbacks in this ball game as Sanchez jumped in front, now gets the ball back on the offensive end, but couldn't hold on to it.
If you're Arkansas, you want to push the pedal to the metal, continue to keep this pressure on the Bulldogs. For Mississippi State, you have to change the tempo of this game. Slow it down, get you some stops and some easy baskets.
Bryant gets in the lane and gets the easy basket.
You're down like this on the road if you're State. You break it up into 5 minutes.
B.J. Young.
How about this freshman group for Arkansas?
And remember, this is an Arkansas team. Moultrie with the finish on the other end. I was getting ready to say this is an Arkansas team playing without their star player, Marshawn Powell, who wrecked his knee after the second game of the season.
Now this is all Mike Anderson here.
B.J. Young beat Bryant to the basket. Moultrie gets a touch, and he gets fouled by Sanchez. That's going to be number 3 on him.
Well, for Mississippi State, it's been a couple of highlights. Moultrie going upstairs to the top floor, but other than that, all Razorbacks.
ESPN, the home court.
18-point lead for Arkansas as Mississippi State trails here 5 minutes into the second half. We started out the game, Damien, by talking about the Razorbacks and what they had learned in their first 14 games and what we would find out tonight.
Well, you see Wade here. One thing they've learned that they have to go to the basket. Dominating points in the point right now, 26-14. And they've also learned that, hey, we're young, no pun intended, but we're pretty good. And they've also bought into the coach Mike Anderson's system. And we look at this one-on-one as we revisit it here. Boss plus 3. You haven't really seen domination on the interior by that front line. And then you look at the 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores, what they've learned. Again, exceptional job of taking care of the basketball. Only 3 turnovers to 15 assists in this basketball game for Arkansas.
Inbounds pass deflected. Another steal for the Razorbacks. Ricky Scott, spin move, shot rejected by Moultrie, leads to a run out for Bost, and the layup.
Bost comes up limping on that play as if he hurt himself a little bit. Looks like he's shaking it off.
He now has 8.
If I'm Arkansas here, I'm trying to get it to Mickelson. Let him go right at Sidney to try to get the 4th foul.
B.J. Young, bottom of the net. He's got 16 now.
Arkansas has changed the entire complexion of this game.
Rodney Hood, tip attempt by Sidney. And here comes Waite for Arkansas, ahead to B.J. Young. Stopped his dribble, leaves it for Waite. 17-point lead for the Razorbacks and a foul in the backcourt on B.J. Young.
We don't know the outcome of this game, but I guarantee you if you're Rick Stansbury and Mississippi State, you can expect some pressure from the duration of this season after you look at the performance thus far from the Bulldogs handling the pressure right now.
Rick Stansbury said he didn't think there was any way that his team was going to underestimate Arkansas as Moultrie had the dribble slapped away, and it's off of Moultrie's hands. But he said if we lose tonight, it's not because we didn't underestimate him. It's because I believe that Arkansas, these being the words of Stansbury, I believe that Arkansas can beat anybody in this building. Young. Wow. 18 for Young. He's fun to watch. Boss fouled on the shot. Got the basket. Going to the line for an and one.
Well, if you see a very good job on this play of curling off of the screen, but more importantly, there was just no help whatsoever. B.J. Young off of that screen knew what he was going to do, knocked down a three-pointer before, had the defense behind trailing, so just went directly to that rim and attacked the basket.
So Boston at the line to try to complete the three-point play as the Bulldogs are down 17.
Well, the only chance you have if you're Mississippi State is you got to get stops. I mean, you look at this offensive output by Arkansas thus far. Got 66 points and 12 minutes still left to play in this game. This isn't a normal Mississippi State type basketball game, which shows you that Coach Mike Anderson and Arkansas have dominated the tempo from start to finish thus far.
B.J. Young at one point in their loss at UConn. Young scored 17 straight points in the second half. The kid can light it up. He likes the stage, and he's got a little swagger about him. Gives it to Mickelson. Mickelson going hard to the hoop. Got fouled by Moultrie. And a technical on Moultrie.
We said at the beginning of this game, time will either promote you or expose you. I believe that's what conference play does. That's what playing on the road does. And you can see when he's running away there, he's frustrated. The frustration has built up, though, the entire game. And thus far, Mississippi State, Moultrie's not alone, but what they're doing is they've been breaking down mentally this basketball game. This is where the leadership will show, and Arkansas brings that out of teams. They used to do it all the time. They're doing it again now with Coach Mike Anderson bringing that style back here.
Nobles gets one of the free throws, and now with that technical foul, the foul and the technical foul, Moultrie has 4 fouls in this ball game. So you've got Moultrie with 4 staying on the floor with 12 minutes to play, and Sidney now has 3.
Well, if you're Coach Rick Stansbury here, you almost have to go back to what served you somewhat in the first half, which was a 4-guard lineup, and that's what he does. Rick Stansbury and Mississippi State used to play that type of style when they had Barry Stewart and Jarvis Venardo, the all-time shot blocker in the SEC. Well, they're going to have to go to that today.
Damian, can they win with Moultrie and Sidney in foul trouble? Can they win with that 4-guard lineup that they have on the floor right now?
An 18-point deficit on the road, now 19. Here in Bud Walton Arena, it's tough to come back for any team.
DeVille Smith, and he got fouled on his drive to the basket. So DeVille Smith finds himself going to the line.
You know, one reason why you cannot give up if you're Mississippi State is you do have to remember you have complacency and the ability to get comfortable if you're freshmen or underclassmen, in which Arkansas has a lot of. And so the way you get back into it, getting to the free throw line, you have to knock down those free throws. But more importantly, you have to get stops. Again, the stops, they get the crowd out of it, and they also get the press off of you if you're Arkansas.
18-point lead for Arkansas. Bulldogs are 13 of 16 at the foul line tonight. Mickelson comes out to set out a screen, and Mickelson gets it back from Nobles. Young the rebound.
You come in this game, you expect Arkansas to win the points off turnovers and turnovers.
Boss with the strip and then got fouled by Madden. 11:41 to play. Arkansas with an 18-point lead on Mississippi State. And if the Bulldogs are to come back, they're going to do it with steep foul trouble. Rick Stansbury trying to figure out a way to slow down this Arkansas Razorbacks team that's jumped out to an 18-point lead, and Damian B.J. Young has 18 points, 7 of 8 shooting.
Well, he's playing outstanding basketball, playing with a lot of confidence, and he's doing it in multiple ways. You've seen him go to the rim on the last play, a 3 before, and then another 3. Have to love his passions, have to love his confidence, his swagger, and demeanor.
Mike Anderson says when the lights come on, he's got a different mindset. He scored 28 in their loss at UConn and followed that up with 24 in their loss at Oklahoma. So the bigger the stage, the bigger he plays.
Well, what I see from the Razorbacks, the young fellas are having fun right now. You've seen a little conversation. It's fun, a little trash talking between Young and D-Boss. They're rising to the occasion, stepping up to the challenge today.
Well, Mike Anderson told us when freshmen do good things, everybody pats them on the back and they think they've conquered the world. Well, they would find out tonight just how far their freshmen have come. And I'd say they've come a long way. They're ready for the SEC. Madden, one of those freshmen. Wade, the senior, misses. And a whistle. Foul's going to be called on Arkansas.
Well, and again, Sidney here, he has to learn to put a body, no box out, and that's still left over with the McDonald's All-American from high school. You're just bigger, you're stronger, you're more talented. You don't have to box out. You just go up and get the rebound. At this level especially, he'll learn you have to put a body on the offensive player and then go get the rebound. If not, he'll hurt himself and his team.
Sidney at the foul line. Fourth miss for the Bulldogs, the stripe tonight. B.J. Young, high off the glass. Third career 20-point game for B.J. Young. Sidney got tied up, missed the shot. Here come the Razorbacks. Pulls up for a long 3. That was a little too hard. DeVille Smith fouled by Mickelson.
Well, it used to be the crossover, but now in today's game, it's the hesitation, a.k.a. the Hezo. A nice job of freezing still and getting to the rim with the kiss off the glass. Young playing outstanding basketball, and look at that smile. More importantly, he's having fun while he's doing it, man.
How do you defend that?
Well, most of the time I used to foul. Hope to get away with it.
Just tackle him.
It's tough on a guy like Young because he can knock down the perimeter jump shot as well. B.J. Young will take a rest. Got 20 tonight. 14 is his per-game average, which leads this team. Mardrakus Wade shifts to the other side of the court. Smart decision by Wade. Razorbacks shooting 53% from the floor in this ball game. And Damian, the Bulldogs are 51.5%, and they're losing by 18. Yeah, they're not getting up as many shots, though, because of the turnovers. And they're not dominating the glass like most people thought that they would before this basketball game. Arkansas just outplaying Mississippi State all the way around for the first 30 minutes. Mickelson off glass. 20-point lead for the Hawks. Didn't see this coming. Hood follows his miss. Fouled on the shot. That'll count. He'll go to the line for a chance at a three-point play. Well, and following his own shot, something that Hood is very good at doing. But Hood has shown me something different than just about all the Bulldogs today. He has kept his composure through this. He's been one of the main ball handlers. to handle the pressure against the defensive press of Arkansas. He's kept his composure. You haven't seen him complain. So he is the one bright spot thus far in the basketball game for the Bulldogs.
Team leading 14 points for Rodney Hood. See Arkansas already with 10+ fouls. Gives Mississippi State the bonus plus. Wade, after the whistle, will not count. Mississippi State has not lost a ball game this season. They've shot 45% or better from the floor. Well, they're shooting 50% tonight and getting their doors blown off.
You know, they don't usually turn it over 15 times in the first 30 minutes of a basketball game either.
Mickelson put it on the floor, gives Bost a chance to come up with a steal.
If you're State, you need more stops, more turnovers.
Bost converts that into points on the other end. He's got 15 now. Timeout called by Arkansas. It's BCS National Championship weekend, and the College Football Fix has you covered. Tune in Monday night at 6:30 Eastern to get live reports from both teams' camps, game analysis, and a preview of the championship game. College Football Fix Monday, 6:30 Eastern here on CSS.
Well, right now, I like this timeout call by Coach Mike Anderson. There would be some coaches who would allow his team to just go ahead and play and possibly allow Mississippi State to get back in the basketball game, maybe cut this to under 10. But Coach Mike Anderson, realizing the youth of his basketball team, continuing to teach right here, letting his team know you cannot take your foot off of the pedal right now. You got to continue to press forward and try to close the door to a Bulldog team.
Mike Anderson bringing back that 40 minutes of hell style of basketball that Nolan Richardson won a national championship with here in Fayetteville, and Mike was his right-hand man. And he made a great point. You know, when you play Arkansas, you got to take time out of practice to get ready for them. You can't simulate what they do in practice. I compared to like in football facing a team that runs the triple option.
Yeah, you have to. It's something that you have to deal with. It's a different style, but you know, when teams are prepared, then they do a couple of things. One, they make sure that they run their offense. You see a goaltend that time by Bryant. But number two, they realize the importance of defensive stops. I mean, you look at 77 points here. Mississippi State hasn't came with the intensity on the defensive end that they normally do.
DeVille Smith. Three-pointer for DeVille Smith. Fifth three-pointer for the Bulldogs in this ballgame.
Smith struggled early, but since then has came back and played outstanding basketball.
Minutes to play and a 14-point lead for Arkansas. 5 on the shot clock. Scott lost the dribble. DeVille Smith. And a blocking foul in Arkansas. And Wade just picked up his 4th foul.
DeVille Smith doing a good job of coming back. Arkansas dominating right now, but State, can you scratch, claw your way back into it? We'll see.
Great team basketball here tonight. 14-point lead with just under 8 minutes to play. They've assisted on 21 of their 29 baskets and committed only 6 turnovers.
Well, that's the difference in the basketball game. You can win a lot of basketball games, not only in Bud Walton, but anywhere when you play basketball like that. And you wonder how they built this lead. Well, Mississippi State, on the other hand, has 15 turnovers to only 7 field goals. And so Arkansas has 14 more field goals than Mississippi State. And that's how you get out to a 14-point lead. Outstanding job by Arkansas.
DeVille Smith cuts it to 13 now. It's a 13-point lead with just under 8 to play. Now 12. Damian, can Mississippi State come back and win this thing?
Well, you see below the score 65 for Mississippi State, showing that they're in the double bonus with that bonus on the plus. And so you have to get to the basket. That does two things. Easy basket at the free throw line, and you stop the clock.
Don't win like that.
And you got to get a few stops.
If Kings left Sanchez shoot the ball from 2 feet. He's got 11. That matches his season high. Hood challenges Sanchez. Got his own miss. Nobles comes away with it. B.J. Young out and running. Moultrie comes flying in to grab the rebound. He's got 9 rebounds now. Fouled on the three-point attempt by DeVille Smith. Or was he inside the arc? Nope, he was outside the arc. He'll get 3 free throws.
And just a bad decision that time by Nobles. Smith really took that shot. It was really a 1-on-4 break. Fortunate to get bailed out with the foul, but again, you see his number, 14 points, 3 or 4, a couple of rebounds. So since those turnovers, Jackson, Mississippi native, really playing good basketball, and you also have had a chance for D-Boss to rest over the last 4 or 5 minutes. And Mississippi State was able to stay in the basketball game.
Well, DeVille Smith has bounced back. He committed 2 turnovers in his first minute on the floor early in this ball game. Could not handle the early Arkansas pressure, but he has settled down to score 17 here tonight, and another turnover. Boss, alley-oop, Moultrie couldn't hold on to it. That was a great opportunity right there that Mississippi State let get away from him. Moultrie battling for the rebound and lost it out of bounds. Damian, if they'd gotten that alley-oop, they would have had it down to 9.
Well, I'm surprised. Just a bad decision by D-Boss. Had Smith open at the three-point line. You've got to make the right play, especially on the road. And then Moultrie on that rebound. Again, if you look at some of the chinks in the armor of Mississippi State, you got to get tougher. Moultrie's got to come up with that rebound.
Nobles on the drive. Oh, fantastic pull. One side to the other. Nobles a new career high. He's got 21.
You think this young man wants it? The junior, 6'1", 193 pounds out of Callaway High School, feeling it, and just does not want to lose here today, and keeping his team well above now, up 13 points.
And Arnett Moultrie has fouled out of this ball game with 9 points and 10 rebounds. And with 6 minutes and 17 seconds left, Damian, can they win with that man done for the night?
Well, you see those numbers there. It's still feasible if they can win, but the man who replaces him, Leonardo Sidney, will have to play phenomenal basketball. And the guards of Mississippi State will have to play awesome as well.
Hood. Rebound, Razorbacks. And Nobles had it knocked away by DeVille Smith, but it will be the Razorbacks' ball.
Game on the cusp of getting out of reach for Mississippi State here. You're down 14. You want to try to cut it to single digits before that 5-minute mark. And if you're going to do it, this end right here is how you do it. 82 points, outstanding offensive production, but also lackadaisical defense by the Bulldogs.
Had that chance to cut it to 9, but made a poor decision, D-Boss did, on the fast break. Nobles. Rebound, controlled by Bryant.
State fortunate there. Still not a very good defensive trip.
DeVille Smith, shot blocked by Sanchez. Run out for the Razorbacks. Madden, fouled by Bryant.
Again, time will either promote you or expose you. And Arkansas doing a very good job of getting back and really continuing to provide offensive pressure as well as defensive pressure. But if you're Mississippi State, this won't get it done. After the block shot here, watch the trot again of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Hood, Sidney. If you're watching game film, I'm Coach Rick Stansberry. I'm livid, and I tell my guys this will not get wins anywhere in the SEC.
Imagine now with 8 points. Great point, Damian. Trotting down the floor in a fast break situation. That's why they're getting their pants beat off them tonight. Down 16, Boss. Now has 17.
Well, again, teams have to know their identity. We talked about Tennessee playing tough, playing physical, playing hard for 40 minutes. Mississippi State isn't good enough to just outscore people, to not play hard and not defend. They're learning that firsthand tonight here in Bud Walton Arena.
B.J. Young fouled on the play, or rather Mardrakus Wade, pardon me, fouled on the play, and he'll be going to the line.
And if you look at this point of the basketball game, you notice a lot of state players grabbing their shorts. Something else that the Arkansas Razorback style will do to you. It wears you down, gets you tired, gets you out of the normal offensive walk it up and run your set that you're accustomed to. Because of that man right there, Matt, been a winner wherever he has been. Expect nothing less here.
Got UAB to the NCAA tournament, to the Sweet 16. Got Missouri to the NCAA tournament and the Elite Eight. Stolen by Nobles. Oh, another super move by Nobles. He's putting on a highlight show here in the second half. 24 for Julysses Nobles. Foul called out on the perimeter before the drive. 88 points for the Razorbacks here, and we still have 4. Most that any team had scored on Mississippi State this season, 75, in an 80-75 win for Mississippi State back in December. And other than that, they had not allowed any other team to score in the 70s against them. And here Arkansas might get 100 on them tonight.
Well, and you look at a team and you say, well, is this Mississippi State accustomed to winning on the road? They are the 4th team in the SEC as far as SEC road wins since 1998 and 99 behind Kentucky, Florida, and Tennessee. But they're not doing the recipe that you normally need. They're not scoring the basketball on the interior, and most importantly, they're not guarding and playing with energy.
Wade got his man in the air, then hands it off to B.J. Young. Young's going to take it to the hole. 22 for B.J. Young. Nobles and Young have combined for half of the Arkansas points. 46 of the 90. Jalen Steele calms the crowd, at least for a moment. Wade throws it up in the air. Here comes D. Boss and the Bulldogs. And Boss fouled. He'll be at the line when we get back.
Well, this is your last chance, Mississippi State. You're down 16. And this guy right here, Noble, saying, not here, not in my house. I want to win tonight, baby. And I'm going to get it.
Countdown's now at 10 a.m.
We'll be here 3 hours before kickoff.
The best analysis and the hottest stories.
Some notable inactives today already.
They've definitely loaded up for the Super Bowl run.
Without him being there, this is not the same organization.
They did one thing consistently. They ran the ball.
From the team you want to hear from.
This type of team in that weak division can really make some noise.
This is a football team that definitely could.
This is brought to you by Regions Bank. Want more control and balance with your finances? Switch to Regions, the easier way to bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. You're looking at the brand new Crystal Bridges Museum here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The inspiration of Alice Walton, the youngest child of Sam Walton of the Walmart Empire. They're building a new empire here in Arkansas with this Razorbacks basketball team. Mike Anderson reestablishing or hoping to reestablish the glory days of Nolan Richardson. And if tonight's performance, Damien, is any indication, they're off to a great start.
Well, I like the way they played for 40 minutes, and we've got 3:25 left to go. And this young group will have to finish this basketball game, but they never let up. Led from start to finish and have given 100%. That's the big difference in this game.
Shot clock. Madden. Sidney the rebound. Just the 4th rebound for Sidney in this ball game. DeVille Smith banked it in. Career high 20 points for DeVille Smith tonight.
Still tough to just sit back and get stops, though, if you're Mississippi State. If the situation were reversed, Arkansas would have a much better chance of getting in the game with their style, the way they pressure. Mississippi State just trying to get stops and not going very well.
B.J. Young, 24 for B.J. Young, 92-78. Inside, they try to go to Sidney. The ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll be the Bulldogs' ball. 21 seconds on the shot clock.
The reason why we talked about Arkansas, a team that could sneak in there later in this year, not only because their quality freshman play, but because of the 6th man, Bud Walton, taking effect on State tonight.
Madden the rebound for the Razorbacks. Mike Anderson has been able to do exactly what he wanted to do. Wanted to get the tempo to their liking. Turn it into a chaotic game. Make fatigue a factor. And he has done all of those things. And it's going to spell a big SEC opening victory for Mike Anderson and the Razorbacks. Sanchez is able to save it for Wade. And Wade with the 2 to beat the shot clock buzzer.
We said at the beginning of this game that time would either promote you or expose you. For Mississippi State, you've been exposed. For the Razorbacks, you've been promoted.
Hood. Rodney Hood now has 17.
There's 1 minute to play.
I think the next question for Arkansas will be, okay, we've seen you do it at Bud Walton Arena. You've established that you're tough to beat here. You're 12-0 in this building. Can you take this on the road? And can you win on the road? They'll find out on Wednesday night when they play at Ole Miss.
Well, they're facing an Ole Miss team who has lost Nelson. They've got Holloway, who has struggled a little bit with the injury. Had a tough loss at LSU today. And so Coach Andy Kennedy and Ole Miss will really be pumped up to try to get them a win. I'm sure they don't want to start out 0-2, but will have a difficult task with this Arkansas team that really showed out today.
Boss. B.J. Young, Madden leaks out behind the pack for Sanchez, and there's a foul on Mississippi State. Time now to salute our Geico go-to player of the game, Julysses Nobles, a career-high 24 points tonight, 7 of 11 shooting, 4 of 7 behind the three-point line, 5 assists, and 0 turnovers.
Well, outstanding job by him tonight. Again, 24 points tonight, but a guy that gets it done without scoring. Great ball handler, very good defender, and most importantly, an incredible heart.
And a standing ovation for our Geico go-to player of the game, Julysses Nobles. Remember, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Be interesting to see in the next game how this young team handles the success, knocking off Mississippi State, and also how this Mississippi State team responds.
DeVille Smith adding to his career high total. He's got 22 tonight. Foul on DeBost. And DeBost did score 19 points tonight, but Damian 0 of 6 from behind the three-point line. You had Arnett Moultrie foul out with 6 minutes left in this ball game. So as you mentioned, some things exposed about this Bulldogs team tonight.
Well, we mentioned it was DeBost +3 plus the front line, and Sidney didn't get a lot of minutes, struggled, only 6 points, 4 rebounds. He has to rebound better. Moultrie didn't get enough touches. Was a little too concerned about the officials in my book. Hood played well, I thought, but DeBost, even though he had 19 points, he has to become more of a distributor. He has to be cognizant about keeping his guys involved versus being concerned about scoring for this team to continue to be successful.
21 points now for Bost, but only 3 assists. DeVille Smith now will have 25 tonight, coming in a losing effort. This final score is going to look a lot closer than the game actually was.
Yeah, never a basketball game. Arkansas dominated from start to finish, and they did that by enforcing their style and forcing their will on Mississippi State. You look at Bud Walton, and that's why you just can't knock this team out. This team will be a factor in the SEC because of Bud Walton Arena, probably one of the most difficult arenas to play in the SEC besides Rupp Arena in Kentucky. And you combine that with the style of Mike Anderson and the freshmen beginning to believe in that style and gaining some confidence, and you got a team that's tough to beat here.
Not quite a full house tonight, but a big energy level. This town's still buzzing after the football team beat Kansas State in the Cotton Bowl last night. And they came here ready to cheer their Razorbacks to a victory, and by golly, they got one. Back in the SEC with a 1 in the victory column.
Well, Coach Mike Anderson, resume precedes him. An outstanding job for Coach Rick Stansbury and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They have a lot to work on. Trotting back in defensive transition, won't get it. Not defending, will not get it. And not going inside to your bread and butter Moultrie will not get it as well. A very good job by Arkansas.
Razorbacks now 12-3 on the season. Julysses Nobles goes for 24, and so does B.J. Young. Bulldogs drop to 13-3. And now for my partner, Damian Fishback, and the entire SEC CSS crew. I'm Matt Stewart. Good night from Fayetteville, with the Hogs win going away.